Hello and welcome to the Intentional Grounding Podcast. I am your host, Sterls, for the girls, joined by my co-host, Rob T. Radio. What's good, man? How you doing,
Does that
bro?
sound high energy?
Dog, that's all I got.
We were
right
talking about energy before we started here.
Hey, listen.
Sounded like we were taxing you, trying to get you excited for this show.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always keep it a buck, and yeah. To be honest, like, I don't want to talk about this shit right now. I'll be honest.
Tell me.
I don't.
Tell me.
Yeah, dude, I'm sick of this shit.
Tell me.
I'm fed up. I'm tired of being fed up. I'm fed up being fed up. Sick of this shit. But here we are. Another week.
What is it that you're fed up with? Just the loss?
Man. I don't think it's fair you ask me that question.
I just did.
You can't ask me that question right now because I'm fed up with the loss, but like there's a lot of unforgiveness in my heart. And it's like it's compounding when I see them lose in the same fashion over and over. Dog, it's like it's time for a change, but we ain't getting it. So yeah, I'm fucking frustrated. I'm pissed. You know what I'm saying? And here we are on a Tuesday night, and I'm gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm supposed to be coming here and be happy about what we've seen. Bro, Lee, come on now. Hell yeah. Go blue, by the way. But yeah, it's the same stuff every year, bro. Like it is the same stuff every single year. You ain't tired of being fed up, man?
Let me take you back to March 1st. Okay?
Oh, you gonna do that to me now?
Let me take you back to March 1st. We don't know the schedule. Haven't seen it yet. Right? Right?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Don't know the order. If I tell you that we play 5 games and we beat the Cardinals, the Dolphins, and the Jaguars, and we lose to the Ravens and the Texans, how do you feel?
Terrible.
No.
I have to say that. No, man, it's not good enough, man. We got to stop. That can't be our
4 teams in the AFC last year.
That cannot be our thing. Like, nah, man. Man, no, hell no. I ain't taking that. I ain't taking it.
Listen, we'll get into what the disappointment was. No doubt we're going to talk about it. But I just want the Mafia to take a breath. Just take a breath. I mean, do you remember how you felt when they had 6 losses last year and McDermott's talking about terrorists and you're going into Arrowhead ready to lose your 7th game and get knocked out of the playoffs? You remember how you felt then?
I do.
We're all right. We're okay. We're all right. And we'll talk about the problems. There's certainly problems. But
why you gotta like? I appreciate your opinion, like I do. But why you gotta do that though? Because
it's real, dog. It's real.
It is real, but it's not at the same time because it's the same story. Like, how many times do we got to do this?
Oh, trust me, I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you on it being the same story.
Come on, man. It's the same story. And it's just like the more it happens, I have less and less patience. And by the way, if you're listening to Intentional Grounding, welcome to the show. We are on the Sports Social Podcast Network. We're happy to be here tonight. I'm happy to talk to everybody. I'm happy to talk, but I don't want to talk about these fools. Sick of this shit. Both my football teams suck this year. Look, Lee is my new best friend, bro. He won me with the Blake Corum jersey. Go blue again.
You don't have to say
man. Every time. But dude, it's
all right.
Come on.
Where are we starting here? You want to start breaking stuff down? You want to start with the 1,000-foot view? You want to start with next week? You want to just shed it and go? Tell me what you need, big dog.
What would be the best, like, what would be the best course of action here?
Well, let's start with the Golden Boy.
Hold on.
Lee wants us to start with the Golden Boy, and I think we should.
With the Golden Boy, huh?
Let's talk
Josh
about
Allen.
17.
Let's talk about him. He sucked. He didn't play well. And I felt like, as we discussed earlier, I felt like Josh Allen coming in this game, I think everything was in his head. First of all, having to play Superman every week, it's not the best recipe for success. And the Stephon, I mean,
do you think there was a couple special factors that made him feel more like he needed to play Superman this week?
Weeks 1 through 3.
No. No Shakir. Right?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Diggs on the other side.
Yep.
I think there were some special things with this game that made him feel like he had to push it. And when he feels like he has to push it, man,
it could go really well or really bad.
Really
quickly.
bad. Really bad. And yeah, no, I don't think he was great. I also don't think he had a lot of help. I really want to blame the talent on that offense as much as I want to blame Josh. And that's not mitigating what Josh did. It was still a problem, but I think you got to be honest and say that the talent on the field was an issue as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people need to take the blame, but the talent, I mean, let's you know what? Josh was bad. Let's keep it on Josh before we get to the everybody else. Josh was bad. I felt like his internal clock was hurried, and it's been for the past 2 weeks. He's had to hurry. He's not trusting the protection. He's not seeing free blitzers coming off the edge as he needs to, and he's getting bored. He's getting bored taking a profit. He's getting bored, and he's big play hunting, and it's just it cost him the game. It really did. Cost him the game. And I felt like the defense gave you 2 red zone possessions, gave it to you in the second half. What'd you do? Kick field goals. That ain't good enough. Ain't good enough. Josh Allen's got to be better. But that's only part of it, right?
So before we move on to the next part, especially if we're talking about the clock in his head,
can
we talk about him slamming his head on the ground 2 weeks in a row? And I mean slamming. He was out, dog. He was out on that field.
He said it was his chest.
Can tell by the way his hand dragged on the ground like a limp wrist.
He said it was his chest, dog.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Did you hear Florio before the Sunday night football game?
I did not.
Oh, he was dogging him. He was dogging him. He's like, they told us it was an ankle or a chest. Luckily, he's got an extra day to heal up his ankle or whatever else it might be before the Jets game.
Now, I will say this though, in Josh's defense, just because you hit your head on the turf doesn't mean you got a concussion.
Thought he was out.
How do you know that?
Did you see the way his hand, when you fall, your hand goes to brace yourself. It does not go like this and drag across the ground. He was out.
Josh
is take it from a guy who's had a lot of concussions in his life. Dude had a fucking concussion. And you have to worry, is that not, I don't think it was affecting his processing. If it was, they would have pulled him out of the game because it would have been obvious. But I do wonder if it affected his clock.
That's fair.
Internally.
I think that's fair. And
if it affects his clock, if he sees those free blitzers coming, if he thinks I got to get rid of it, if he thinks I got to bail, those things all affect the game plan.
Yeah.
And guess what you got coming up on Monday?
A really good defense.
A brutal defensive line. I mean, one of the top units in the NFL.
What are they? And you know what? What are they gonna do? Like that's the question that I have. Like what are they gonna do with that Jets front? It's brutal.
Well, go back to your second point on Josh Allen because I stopped you before you got there. We'll get to the Jets game, but go ahead and say what else you wanted to say about Josh. Did you forget? He forgot.
No, I didn't forget. It's just, how do I want to attack this? I mean, again, his processing was bad. He didn't, he got bored playing quarterback. And he cost the team because he failed to move the football at critical times because he was chasing the big play. That's a problem.
So by getting bored, you mean not taking the short throws?
Not taking the short throws. Something that he was doing so well in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Why the change? And I think
when this offense hums, a lot of people go back to 2020 and talk about 2020 and talk about chunk plays. And that is true. I mean, 15-yard, 20-yard plays, not necessarily bombs, but they were hitting a lot of those middle depth plays. But he was also taking a lot of what he got in 2020. There was a lot of Cole Beasley, 4 or 5 yard passes to keep that offense moving. You know what I mean? To keep it in rhythm.
Right.
And he did it the first 3 weeks of the season, and I felt like he had to press against Baltimore, which he did. They were down big. He had to press, and it felt like to me a home run hitter doing the home run derby and then saying my swing is different. Because it felt like against Houston, he was swinging for home runs, and he just needed line drives, dog. Like, just take the single.
Yeah. And he so many turn downs, man. Guys open in the flat, shallow cross. He's just not throwing the ball. And it's just like, Josh, bro, like what are we doing here? You can't have that, man. It's like, we know your wide receivers are shit. Like, do you not know that? That's the one I want to know. Josh, do you know that your wide receivers are shit?
We did a podcast before, spent the whole time talking about what happened. So I want to move through it a little bit quicker here because I do want to talk about next week. And I think that's the next point. Yeah. There was a dearth of talent on the field. It was noticeable. Keon Coleman gets hit in the back of the head with a football. Man. Dalton Kincaid drops a pass on the sideline. Diggs catches that ball 10 times out of 10. Coming back, you got nobody on your back.
Oh, yeah. Dalton Kincaid, man.
First
How about
down,
the one MVS on the sideline? Gabe Davis catches that. Diggs catches that.
There's a Kincaid crosser, too, that I remember him dropping.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Kincaid's has drops this season.
Yeah, it was 9 for 30, but he wasn't getting any help either.
Yeah. 9 for 30.
So it left me feeling more than ever like they got to do something.
But they won't.
And I have not been on that side. Devontae Adams for 2 was not in my head. But after Sunday it was.
Yeah, right. And I have, according to sources, that ain't happening.
And we all know it too. I mean, that's just who they are.
I just want to brace you for reality check. Unless something dramatic happens, like, if you're in the camp of the Bills need to go get a guy this year, then you need to hope that the fucking rails come off on Monday night. Like, I don't know, man.
It ain't gonna happen.
The season's not over, but man, does it presents itself in a way like, you said something that, it's like, we knew what the issues were coming into the season. We knew it. But boy, those first 3 weeks made you go, huh, was I crazy? It's like dating that hot chick, right? And you're like, damn, she's really cool. Like, her personality's dope, And then you go, oh shit, no.
No, but hold on. Because if they did what they had done through the first 3 weeks of the season, I bet you get out of there with a win. That whole everybody eats,
guaranteed.
If you throw a couple checkdowns, if you throw a couple checkdowns, if you throw a couple slants, you're telling me they don't end up with 3 more points? Get out.
Yeah, they in the red zone.
Oh, don't get me started.
At least a touchdown, right? And one of those 2 from those defensive plays.
How about when they were 3rd and goal from the 20? And I look at my boy, and he's like, "Oh, I can't believe they're this far away." And I'm like, "Got to be honest with you, they'd probably prefer to be this far away because that way you can spread out the defense, and run actual concepts to try to get in the end zone." And do you know what they ran on that play? Verts. All go. And they threw it to Coleman at the back corner of the end zone with like a fade route.
Now,
what are we doing?
That's not terrible. That's not terrible. Considering, hold on. I'll defend them on this. Against the defense that they were deploying. And your receivers are shit. They're garbage. Like, give them the easiest thing, run a vert and hope that Josh can thread a needle. Like, fuck. I understand the logic is not the best idea, but
no, man.
There was no pick play. There was no pick play. There was no levels concept, no mesh. It's like, bro, oh my God. Like, what are we doing?
Remember all the fancy motions and everything? Yeah. Remember the play action? And yes, I know these are beating a dead horse.
Yeah, but it's true though. And this is
just because they do those things doesn't mean that the offense is creative or moving forward, progressing, changing, evolving. It does not mean that. Granted. But how about a little window dressing? How about you try to help Josh out with a little window dressing? I mean, come on, man. And Josh wasn't good, and the receivers weren't good. You know who was good?
Who that?
James Cook.
Oh, yeah, Mr. James Cook, who they just forgot about in the second half. Like,
and then disappeared.
Yeah. Why is that? Like, for instance, like, you look at other teams, Alvin Kamara last night, the way they use him in the pass game, you mean tell me James Cook can't get 6-7 catches a game?
I think it was 20 carries for 80 yards. Let me look.
Yeah.
I think it was 20 that's 4 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Like, when your offense is not in rhythm, you know what you do?
Run the damn ball.
Your offensive lineman fire off the ball and you run it. Just like we talked about with Baltimore last week. Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
And yes, you were down, but you weren't down by so much that you had to give up on James Cook. 20 carries, 82 yards, a touchdown. That's 4 yards a carry.
Yeah, man. And the run game was working in the first half. But you want to run it on first down all the time, Joe Brady. Like, what the hell? 19 to 26. First down runs. You kidding me? That's all you got? And I'm tired of these bubble screens. Stop that shit. It ain't working. It doesn't work.
That is him trying to get Curtis Samuel in. Like, that
God dang, bro. Find something else. I mean, shit.
Listen, the goal to go verts drove me crazy. It's literally like the lowest percentage pass play you can run. And it's awful.
The bubble screens kill me.
And listen, I like Joe Brady. I do. But
that's 2 weeks in a row he sucked.
This needs to be a growth game for him. Needs to be a growth game.
Aren't you tired of saying and hearing that?
Oh, he's a young coordinator.
I know, man, but fuck.
He's a young coordinator. Him and Babbage both. And like Babbage, I mean, we can flip over to the defensive side of the ball here. Did not have a good first half. The defense did not look good in the first half.
No, it did not. And it's like it takes in the second half, the defense seems to improve and play well in the second half because they dial up pressure, right? But they play so damn conservative in the first half, and it's like, dude, why can you coach a full game like this? Why is it only one half? That's what I want to know.
And I do think you saw the difference TB made being back on that field. I think you felt it.
Yeah,
when you were watching that game.
Yeah, I think interception was amazing.
Oh, it was incredible. Carried the tight end, dropped off.
Yeah,
picked the ball off. Listen,
every step that he took mattered on that play. It mattered.
I think you hope you get the same level of difference when Teron Johnson comes back. Hopefully this week, you'll get the same level of difference when Ed Oliver comes back. Maybe this week, maybe next week. You get the same level of difference when Von Miller comes back. 3 weeks now. You get the same level of difference when Milano comes back 5 weeks from now. And maybe you got a real defense there. Because they did only give up 23 points. 3 of them were gift wrapped by McDermott. 7 was on a bomb. They only gave up 23 points. That's good enough to win. No?
Yeah, no, man. It's just, if you're Sean McDermott, how do you wake up in the morning and go, yeah, it's all good? I feel like he does that. Like, he knows his job is secure, and he just be out there fucking shit up. You know, it's like, my man rolls out of bed, just fucking, yeah, my coffee. I'm going to go to the office. I'm going to go, do 50,000 push-ups and pretend I'm a wrestler again. And I just don't fucking care. Like, you come in and it's just, it's the same coach speak. It's the same coach speak all the time. I take full accountability.
Something to show you, dog.
Oh, I'll throw it up there.
The end of the first half defense had me thinking so much about 13 seconds.
Oh, you want to
remember this? They guarded the sidelines. They gave up wide open throws to Travis Kelce down the middle of the field because they didn't realize that Kansas City had timeouts left. The end of the first half of the preseason game was a similar problem, similar but opposite. And it drove me nuts. Carolina had no timeouts left. And Steve Tasker's on the broadcast even saying this should be the last play of the half as long as the Bills defend it properly. Somehow you don't know that he's going to throw the ball to the side. It should have been a pick six. You should have been all over that. And instead, the guy catches an out route, toe taps out of bounds, and they kick a field goal with 2 seconds left. This is the same problem that has plagued this team year in and year out.
You're not wrong, but we're talking about preseason.
It has ended our season in 2 of the past 3 years. 2 of the past 3.
Facts. Here's what I'll tell you in defense of what you're saying. We're talking about a head coach who preaches about how meticulous the operation is. We gotta learn from our mistake here. 13 seconds was a thing.
That's what I'm saying. The pattern.
You gotta learn from it, right? But I understand the heart of your conversation and context.
Pattern, dog. It's a pattern.
It's inexcusable. It shouldn't happen.
Preseason game. It's not about the preseason game. And I will point to 13 seconds. I'll point to the end of the game last year versus the Chiefs in Buffalo. They put themselves in an awful situation. If he makes that field goal and it's 27-27, you're giving the ball back to Patrick Mahomes with, I think, 1 timeout and just over 2 minutes left. You're dead.
It's over.
You're dead. You get that ball with like 8 minutes left. How he's not on the headset with 8 minutes left in the game before that drive even starts, saying you either need to score with more than 5 minutes left or run the entire clock. I don't care what you do, but you need to be on the headset telling Joe Brady something there.
I don't know, man. I have my reservations about Sean. I'm not saying get rid of him today, but I do feel like he has kept his team back in critical moments.
And what's even more frustrating about it is I don't think it's that McDermott doesn't know. I think he's a smart guy. I think he knows. I think he's the kind of guy that the pressure gets to.
And I don't like that. If that's what he is, it's Marty Schottenheimer vibes. Show's over.
I mean, we don't have to change a thing from what I said there, from what you said there. That is 6 weeks ago. A guy that the pressure gets to cannot formulate a plan on the fly. And listen, that offense was in chaos those last 3 plays, and that defense was in chaos the one play they were out there. Rasul Douglas said they didn't even have everybody on the field. They only had 10 guys out there. You got 2 safeties playing 20 yards off. You got 2 safeties playing 20 yards off. You got a muddle rusher. It's really only Groot that was rushing. And somehow the back still gets free and is able to catch a check down and gain 5 yards.
Incredible.
They can't handle the pressure, man. They can't handle it.
Something's got to give. Something's got to change.
And don't get me wrong. McDermott is a good coach. He is. He's a good coach. If you need him to scheme up a plan to stop Patrick Mahomes, he can do it. But when it comes to making the pressure decisions, how is he not on the headset saying to Joe Brady, listen, if you are passing the ball here, I don't know if he's telling him to pass the ball or run the ball, but he should be telling him, I want you to pass it here, and I want you to make sure you get the first down. Don't be taking deep shots. Or I want you to run it here and I want you to burn all 3 of their timeouts. But you better be on the headset telling them something. Didn't that sound familiar?
Oh man.
And it drove me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was unacceptable after 13 seconds. And here we are 3-4 years later, and we're still talking about the same stuff. Except for this game, it's called 31 seconds. No, there's nothing wrong with throwing the ball. Like Josh, part of that's on Josh too. Like, in what world do you throw the ball again deep to Matt Collins on second down? You're asking for it.
You had Coleman on first down. Now you
With
know
a bad throw.
You have to pick up the first down. You have to. And you take a deep shot to Matt Collins? You can't do it. You can't. And yes, maybe it's partially on Josh, but Brady needs to be in his ear saying, take the gain. We need to pick up the first down. I know you're going to read it and it's going to tell you to take the single coverage. You
shouldn't even have to tell Josh that. He should know that. I mean, that's something that you shouldn't even have to tell him. I mean,
the coverage is going to dictate you taking the deep shot single coverage. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. You need a first down. And there is just something about the end of games, the end of halves, where this coaching staff. And listen, yes, I think Josh is part of the problem too. He might not be thinking all that clearly through all that. That's why you have a coach tell him.
Yeah. Just to reiterate, hey, this is the situation we're in.
And they to me, they fold under pressure all the time.
Yeah. I mean, even in the headset, hey, let's make the smart play. Call the play. Right? Make smart decisions, Josh. Right? Spider 2, banana Y, whatever the fuck. Call the play. Done. Right?
How many times? And I hate the fact that we are going to be playing this back in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
In another situation. Better not be to end our season. Because then I'm really going to.
This is, if they don't make changes, this is what was going to cause them to end the season, and you know it. And it's all fixed when you're winning 47-10, right? Because you don't have to make any decisions under pressure. Right.
You just go with your game plan that you made earlier in the week. And McDermott is a process guy, right? That's what he likes. Regimented, process, blah, blah, blah. I stick to what it is that I do. You can't always play like that. Not in the NFL. Teams are going to throw wrenches in it. They're going to figure it out. And there's going to be a moment under pressure where you got to make a call. I just don't know if he's got it.
I don't know, man. Yeah. Yeah. It makes you wonder. Let's talk NFL draft for a little bit, shall we?
I was gonna say, you want to do around the league? You want to do NFL draft? Let's get off our pity party here.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk NFL draft. What
you
want
to
do
draft
man?
here? Yeah. So some monster games this weekend, dog. Some really good games. I'm excited to watch. First one that's going to come up is going to be that Red River rivalry.
That's Oklahoma and Texas.
Did you not know what's called the Red River rivalry?
Man, dude, I'm so hung up in Michigan winning national title and sucking this year. So pardon me.
Texas ranked number 1 right now. OU, I think a little overranked at 18. Tell me why I'm wrong. Does OU have some prospects that I don't know about? Because it feels like to me that's not quite the same talent level. Well, definitely not the same talent level as Texas.
No, not. I mean, Texas has some dudes. Oklahoma. I mean, I'm looking at my spreadsheet here, and I'm trying to see.
Give me the Texas guys first, because I know you know them.
Yeah, hold on. My computer's freezing for some reason. All right. So you guys start. Quinn Ewers is listen, he's kind of dropped this season, and he's been injured, right? So, but Quinn Ewers is he has injury concerns for sure. He's going to be a third, fourth round prospect, I think. I think he has some upside. It kind of reminds me of another Texas quarterback, Colt McCoy, just not as decorated in terms of wins, but that's not a quarterback stat, but very similar
there
game.
are people talking about him in the first round. You feel like that's way too generous?
I think that's way too generous. But I will tell you who does have first round consideration for the Longhorns. That's Isaiah Bond. Transfer from Oklahoma, 5'11". Dude's gonna run a blazing 4.2 speed. I feel like he has some nuance as a route runner. You can play him in the slot along with on the outside. He's not just a slot. But he definitely has some game changing speed. He's having
so
a
the
good
Bills
year
definitely
so far.
not going to draft him then.
Yeah, no, he did. No,
If he's got game changing speed, yeah, no way the Bills draft him.
Yeah, no, yeah, they frown upon that. For some reason, I don't understand why they look at receivers and they go, you know what, we want the receiver that's not polished at all. Get that, like I don't understand it, dude. I don't get it. Like, we want projects. So, well, that's what you get. So yeah, Isaiah Bond is phenomenal. I think you also have to look at tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. 6'4". I think he's going to come in at like 320 or something like that. Left tackle all the way, man. He is a day one starter, athletic. He's got good punch in his hands. Like he's strong at the point of attack.
What's
he
his
does
name
a
again?
really good. Kelvin Banks Jr.
Banks Jr. Top 10? That good?
He'll go. I think he'll go between 7 and 15.
Okay.
Let's see. Who else should we?
Oklahoma. Who you got for OU?
Oh,
and that's the thing. I don't feel like they've got a lot of blue chip talent.
Well, again, this is a very new Oklahoma team. They got a lot of young guys. Let's see, Oklahoma.
Remember, you're getting Brett Venables, who's from the Dabo Sweeney tree. The we don't want transfers. Now he has taken transfers, but I'm just saying, yeah, young team. He recruits out of high school, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so early in the process that I'm still going through
okay
these guys. So I can't give you a guy that right off the top of my head or that's not already on my spreadsheet and go, oh yeah, this guy.
I'm putting you on the spot here, but I'm going to keep doing it. Ole Miss and LSU. That's going to be a 5:30 game. And it's going to be opposite the big game of the day, but I actually feel like there might be more draft prospects in this game than the big game of the day.
Ole Miss and LSU. Okay, first you got, I think the first guy that's probably going to get drafted for any of those guys, Will Campbell, offensive tackle for LSU, 6'6", really good. He's a technician, but he's super athletic too. I think he's going to go top 10. He's a for sure top 10 pick in my opinion. So there's your offensive tackle. Harold Perkins, if you're a Von Miller fan or bendy pass rushers, may not, he's not going to blow you away with size, but what he does do is he's a dynamic playmaker with burst off the edge. And there's like, he's only 6'1", about 230, but there's like a lot of like meat on the bone here, like where you can beef him up maybe 10, 15 pounds. So the standard NFL defensive end is like 240, 250 now. So you can get him up to he will need to learn to play through strength more. I think that's probably an area where he needs to get better. But the thing about him though, if you can't get hands on him because he runs a 4.5 and he's bendy, then you got a problem.
Is he okay in an even front, or is he going to be a linebacker? Is he going to be a 3-4 guy?
I think his best fit is a 3-4 guy, but he can play in a 4-3. But if you're expecting him to do that as a rookie in a 4-3, you're gonna have to put him in special situations like passing situations, and I think he'll shine. Now, what he can do, he does show sideline, very rangy sideline to sideline. So you can, if you get him in the right defense where you can use him as a chess piece, not only as a pass rusher. He could be an every down player for sure.
What was the name again?
Harold Perkins Jr.
Perkins Jr. All right.
Trey Harris is another wide receiver. I think he's like 6 foot. I think he'll come in at like 6'4", 6'3". And he's I think he's a solid like X receiver. He's a boundary receiver. He's got really good strongs. We don't know how full his route tree is just because the run doesn't really lend you to run a full route tree, but he does show some promise there as a route runner. He's just not as polished as you would like. So probably their only offensive playmaker there. And then on the also on the defensive side for Ole Miss, you're going to look at Walter Nolan. Walter Nolan was like one of the top high school players in the country. He was over at Texas A&M, transferred to Ole Miss this year. He's having a good season. I think he is definitely a blue chip prospect. Very dynamic, has a really quick first step, can convert speed to power. He's going to be like 6'3", about 300 gapper, but he's a penetration style defense. He would fit in the Bills defense as a defensive tackle. I think he'd look good there. And then, another guy that you would have to look at from an edge view, Princely Umanamium. I'm sorry if I butchered his name, but he is your prototypical size at defensive end, outside linebacker. Defensive end or edge, however you ever want to do it. But he's going to come in probably around 6'4", 6'5". He doesn't have a quick first step necessarily, but I think he'll run around like a 4'6", 4'7". But he does have some short range explosiveness, and he definitely has some pass rush tools that you can take and mold. So I think all those guys that I mentioned are first round prospects. So
wow, okay, all first rounders. And then the game of the day, go first round. Ohio State headed to Oregon. I mean, Ohio State's loaded. Oregon lost a bunch of guys last year. I don't know if they're going to have as many this year. Tell me what you think there.
Well, I hate Ohio State for one.
We know you hate them.
How many times do I need to say
that can't affect your evaluation, Sterls?
No, it doesn't. So JT Tuimoloau, he's another edge prospect, and so I think the Bills should be all in on edge this year. But there's a lot of edge rushers, pass rushers in this draft, and I think that'll look good. But he's another edge rusher. He's on the bigger side. He's going to come in at 6'5", about 270. He's got some burst to him as well. But the thing about him, he's a playmaker, man. He is a playmaker. Think about what's the guy that plays for the Ravens? God, what's his name? It's blanking me right now.
Agba?
No. He's one of the older veterans for the Ravens. God, that I comped him to. Who tore up Spencer Brown? God.
Hold on, I'll look. Go on to the next guy. I'll look.
So okay, yeah. So Denzel Burke, I think he's a really solid corner. Can't stand him. He's not. I think he's a zone corner. I don't think he has a foot speed to kind of mirror match guys on the outside in a man defense. But I think you put him in the zone. I think his athleticism isn't. He's more instinctual than he is athletic, if that makes sense.
Talking about Kyle Van Noy?
Kyle Van Noy, yes, Kyle Van Noy. This is your Kyle Van Noy, JT Tuimoloau. I think he has size, strength, and he's a playmaker. He's a guy that's gonna come out there and he's gonna sack the quarterback. He may get some picks. He's gonna force some fumbles. He's just very heady, smart player. Like
little Van Ginkel in him.
Yeah, but he's big, 6'5", about 270. He's pretty big. But Denzel Burke is one of those dudes. Zone corner, so he'd be nice for the Buffalo Bills, for zone corner. If you decide to get rid of what's his name? God, our other corner, not Benford, but Douglas. So if they don't, re-sign Douglas, I think he'd be a good fit. Emeka Egbuka, he is your Jack Smith and Jigba light. This guy, really good speed. I think he'll run like a 4.35, 4.4. The thing about Ibuka is that he's been crowded by superior talent at Ohio State, and I think he's a 5-star recruit himself. And he's just hung around, but he's been productive.
Go ahead, say
You
it.
talk about route running. The guy can he can do a full route tree. This
Go
dude
ahead,
can.
say it.
He's a slot guy, and the Bills
Go
won't
ahead,
draft him.
say it.
Say what? I hate Ohio State or what?
Nah.
That's how you want me to do it?
No. You end all these talking about what they would do for the Bills.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say it.
But they're not going to get him. So
go ahead, say it.
I'm not. Fuck.
Tell me how great of a fit he would be on the Buffalo Bills and how happy you would be for him to be there.
Yeah, I'll be nice. It'd be nice if we got Emeka Egbuka, but we're not. Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer is another edge rusher. He is very white. Very white. He high motor, and I hate that term in the draft world. He plays like he's got his hair on fire, like high motor, but he really does. Like, this guy doesn't take a play off. You talk about a locker room guy. He's great for a locker room. He's gonna come in, he's gonna do everything right, and he's gonna come out there and he's gonna produce. Like, Jack Sawyer is gonna produce. He definitely. Yeah, he's I think he's a high value guy. I think there's a chance that he goes top 15, to be honest. If I'm really like, he has a lot of tools as a edge rusher. He's the kind of guy that if I could like picture him on any team, it'd be the Steelers.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right, and then to wrap this up, I want to throw a little curveball at you here. The college football world is ablaze with one Ashton Jeanty. Heisman down to a 2-man race, if you ask me. It's him and Travis Hunter. But Jeanty, they showed his numbers. He's already over 1,000 yards on the season. And they showed his numbers compared to other Heisman-winning running backs, blowing him out of the water. Dude is incredible. Great contact balance. Incredible vision. But not huge. And not blazing fast, but good speed. So where does he fit in as a draft prospect when you're starting to talk about his possible transition to the NFL?
So he is a top 5 talent to me, but he won't get drafted that high. He's going to go somewhere late first round, early second. I just don't think, teams are.
They've bent for a running back before. Saquon Barkley is the most recent one that comes to mind, but
yeah, he's not on Saquon's level, but what he does do well, being 5'9", that low center of gravity, man, it's nice, man, because his contact balance is through the roof and his vision. And one thing I do appreciate about him, he doesn't hesitate to get through the mud. And what I mean by that is when he sees a hole, he's going. He ain't sitting there dancing. It's a business decision. And he has really good break tackle ability. Like, you're not just gonna. He even though he's small, he's got a thick build. He's got thick legs. So he's tough between the tackles. So I think that's a concern with some running backs that boast his size, like 5'9". He's gonna come in at like 215, 220. So, but he shows that he can be a between the tackles runner. Now, he's not going to be your bell cow like power back, but.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, did we lose you? Did you break up?
He's good for that. The thing about him though is that he has the ability. He reminds me of Blake Corum, but a better athlete. He the way he sets up his angles that he takes, they're really good. Really good.
Blockers. Yeah,
man, really
100%. That is going to be really the latest game of the night. That game starts at 9 p.m. Boise State at Hawaii. So everybody can watch while you're laying down for bed on Saturday night. You can flip on that. Maybe you're late through the day. All right. Let's move into our game preview, Doug. Let's talk Jets a little bit here. No doubt there was some of the news of the league. At first it was Devontae Adams going to the Jets to reunite with Aaron Rodgers. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. But you wonder if that was a little bit of a fight that Saleh was putting up and now he's not there anymore. Axe today.
He gone.
What are your thoughts on that?
He's gone. Good for them. Good for
You
the
think
Jets.
so?
That I don't like how they did it, but good. Then they said, you know what? You're not our future. We're not going to take that next step with you. We got to cut ties, unfortunately. It's a business. You got to make business decisions.
Do you think they're better
regardless
off
of how
him?
your heart feels? Huh?
Do you think they're better off without him?
Yeah. Because listen, long term, Aaron Rodgers is not your future at quarterback. You have to go. You got to go at this again, and you got to draft your rookie and just go for it. Quit playing. So,
but why would you let him go this year? What you're saying
because
is it's just
the players. His message is grown cold in that locker room, man. The players don't like him. Yeah, he's got to go.
Now, something I think people underrate is the interim bump. Hello, Antonio Pierce.
Oh, yeah.
I think teams often play better when they lose their leader and they're trying to get everybody on the same page. And whether it's like Antonio Pierce got a huge bump because he was going from Josh McDaniels, you know what I mean? So the guys were thrilled to have him out of the locker room. Yeah. But I think there's always a little bit of an interim coach bump. Are you worried about that at all for the Bills here?
I am, because, you got the Bills coming off 2 straight losses, and you yourself as the Jets are coming off 2 straight losses. But the thing is, though, and I want to caution everybody, I don't think it's going to be the coach bump necessarily. But what the Jets are going to do to the Bills on defense is going to be very similar to what the Texans did to the Bills on defense. And it's going to come down to if the Bills take a profit. And it happened this way with the Jets every single year. All right, and I don't know if they're going to if they're going to take that test the correct way.
You said take a profit?
If
you cut out on me a little
bit.
A profit. You said just
Josh
Allen taking the undercuts.
Josh Allen's going to have to take the easy throw, take the profit instead of big game hunting. And those corners, Reed and Sauce, they're very handsy. So if you got guys that can't separate on the outside, and what you do, you're cooked. And now if Josh has to hold on to the football, and they're going to send pressure all the time against Josh. We're going to see a lot of the same shit that we saw this past weekend. So Josh is going to have to he's going to have to find, outlets, what's his hot. He's going to have to beat them with his mind. Is he ready to do that this week? I don't know.
I think having Shakir back would help.
Big time.
Especially against that kind of defense.
Yeah.
I also think let's be honest, what worked on Sunday?
Running the football. Got to run the football.
You want to slow down a defensive line that can come kill you? Run the ball, man. And I'm not a run the ball guy. I don't say that a lot. I think the modern NFL has changed. But you have to do that effectively to take safeties out of the box, to reduce the threat of that defensive line, to buy your wide receivers an extra step when they're transitioning from any zone that was a cornerback zone or any man coverage that was from cornerbacks. You buy them that extra step before they get to the safety, before they get to the linebacker, by holding them with the fear of the run. And I think they're going to need that extra step. I really do. Defensively, I mean, listen, does Aaron Rodgers frighten you?
Nah, he doesn't. He's still, like for instance, if you come out there thinking you're just gonna be, relaxing and we're just gonna play conservative in the first half, that's not gonna go well for you. Now, the here's the thing:
no more shackles on him, no more Saleh shackles.
Yep. So the real question is this: what's the Bills' defensive line going to do? Because this offensive line for the Jets, I mean, he has the quickest time to throw. Aaron Rodgers does in the league this season. So that line ain't protecting him. If you dial up the pressure early on, make him beat you with his mind. Make him use his hot and stuff like that.
What you can do?
Get after him. Get him off the spot.
He's capable, though. I mean, he's
He is,
capable of doing
but
that.
he's 41 years old, and he doesn't look the same. Get him off his spot and make him make plays all night.
You heard anything about Ed Oliver? Is he playing this week?
Shit, I haven't heard anything.
Me neither. Which
I'll
is
check
interesting
and
because
see.
this is one where you want him.
Yeah,
This is one where you want him. You want that pressure coming right up the middle, right in Aaron's face.
Yep.
So that's tough for me if he's out. This is a game you want him for. I mean, you want him for every game, but
yeah,
I think this one in particular, that pressure up the middle is what's going to affect Aaron the most. And I'm not worried about them running the ball. I know they got 2 good running backs.
Yeah,
but I'm not worried about them running the ball. Maybe they make me eat that, but I'm not.
it's a game they should win.
Anything for Garrett?
Nah, I think Rasul Douglas and Christian Benford, wherever he lines up, he's going to be accounted for. Like, I don't think he ain't going off.
And that's the thing. Your 2 corners are playing at such an elite level
Yeah.
that I think you trust them to handle that.
Right. Lazard and Garrett Wilson, the Bills are going to have them covered. Right. But if you can't just play zone every single play, like Garrett Wilson has speed, but like with the right safety, with a little bit of help over top, you can man up on him, especially Allen Lazard.
Let's talk about that because we did not get to that when we recapped the game, but we have talked about Bishop. Not a good game.
It was awful, but he's young and he's learning. So right.
Okay, so but relying anything on the safeties here, I think is dangerous.
I agree. So, Mike Edwards is non-existent. We should just not even count him on the roster at this point.
I mean, that's crazy, isn't it?
So right. Like net negative. Well, he ain't done nothing.
But like, why did you even sign him? He's that bad that he's not even on the field?
What's the story? Like, it's got to be something because the Chiefs threw his ass out there. Tampa threw him out there.
And don't get me wrong, I want Bishop to get run, but it was not pretty this last week. I don't think Hammond's been okay some weeks. I don't think he's been great recently.
He's okay every week. He just doesn't offer you any playmaking ability and no athleticism for the position.
So, and Mike Edwards can't get out there? Like, that's not a good sign.
Fuck.
It's not a good sign. So, I mean, listen, when you're saying, oh, Garrett Wilson, you safety help over the top, I don't know. That doesn't make me feel any better.
You might as well just go after him. But I mean, Garrett Wilson's a really good route runner. So, but again, teams haven't tested Benford or Douglas. And then the Jets don't really have anything in the slot. So that's their offense. Breece Hall and those 2 guys outside, and their short yardage is their rookie who the Bills should have drafted. I don't know why they fucking didn't. Brayson Allen.
I think it's gonna be a big week for TB.
Can we get Taron back this week?
That'd be nice.
But
I think it's a big week for TB because I think he's gonna be covering those guys out of the backfield, and I think that's gonna be important.
I think so too. Braylon Allen, man, he's a good back. Yeah, I think he's a good young back. But yeah, man, come after Rodgers, man. They can make plays off script.
I don't know. I mean, that's always been his strength. I don't know.
Did you watch him last week?
I know.
He's not the same.
Yeah, but we know those
every time, but
we know those London games lie.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, they're going to be hung over.
I hope so.
That's tough. It's tough to come back from London on a Monday night. You fired your coach. Like, that's tough.
Let's put it this way too. You're 3-2. Got a game lead in the division on everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you win this game, not only do you have a 2-game lead on the Jets, but you've played your 2 hardest division games at Miami, at New York.
Yeah.
You got 3 home games. Your only divisional road game left is against the Patriots, which, listen, that is week 16 or 17.
Yeah.
I mean, that they better be in Cabo by then. You know what I mean?
Right.
They are in Cancun at that point. So these are your two toughest division games. If you can get a win in both of them, I know it feels like we're limping a little bit. Feels like 3-2. We're not where we want to be. If you get a win in this game, man, you're in a great spot. You really are. Even with two losses that you didn't want the past couple weeks. Stop looking like that. Stop looking like that.
I can't help it.
Over there. Don't make me come over there.
I can't.
You've been low energy all night. Come on, dog. If they win this game, they're 4-2. They're 2-0 against the Dolphins and Jets in Miami and New York. They're in a good spot.
I'm just not satisfied, man. Like, go get a receiver, please.
It's not
go do something. But they're not.
We all know it's not going to happen.
They're not going to do it. How many?
But be real about where you are, man.
How many more weeks do we get to see?
Tell me that's not a good spot for them to be in.
Oh, it's a good spot, but again, it's you're thinking win the division. I'm thinking win a Super Bowl, but they're going to get to the playoffs and they're going to get boat raced.
Doug, listen, last year we didn't even know they were going to make the playoffs. I remember being worried about that the last week of the season.
The division was tougher.
Just hear me out. We were worried about them making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did they end up making it, but at 10-6, they not only won their division, 11-6, 10-7. What were they? 11-6.
6 losses.
11-6. Yeah. At 11-6, not only did they win their division, but they got the number 2 seed. The answer is always winning your division.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing by a long shot. By a long shot. Because if you don't win your division, you can have 11 wins and go on the road for the first week of the playoffs.
Yeah, which I wouldn't be opposed to.
So, hey, man, the easiest way to get a playoff berth, win your division. You got to go win this game. Now, you could have been in a real pretty spot here.
Right.
Put yourself in a situation where this game becomes a must-win game, but so what? So it's a must-win game. Go win it. When's the last time the Jets scared you? I mean, come on, dog.
Well, we thought about them last year in the opener, and that was.
No, they should have been more afraid of them than they were. Apparently.
Yeah, man. I don't know. We'll see. I think the Bills win.
You're so dismayed right now. I
know. Dude, I think the Bills win the game. I think they come out and they win the game. But it'll be close. It'll be like 21-13, 21-16. First team to 20 wins.
You have to get right here. Have to.
You got to. Yeah, it's big time. You gotta come out and do something. Like the meetings, like in these meeting rooms this week, man. Josh, you gotta fucking play. You gotta. Okay, you got 2 weeks. It wasn't great. Not all your fault, but this team really needs you to step up. Go, start, just play the game the way it's supposed to be played and when you get the horses where you can do all your off script stuff, and so by all means do it, but you don't have the guys in the room to do that now.
The way you feel right now, we can times it by 10 and come back here next Tuesday and start going fire and brimstone if they don't.
Yeah. Hey, stay tuned, because the Bills come out here and lose this weekend. Oh, I'm coming guns blazing, and I'm not going to be nice. I ain't going to come in here and just everything's okay, because it
well, that's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking, I see the ledge. I'm looking at it, but I'm not ready to jump yet. Right? That's why I'm trying to pull you back a little bit here. If they win this game, I think you're going to feel a whole lot better about yourself.
For sure. I wouldn't say a whole lot better. It depends on how they do it. But I feel a little bit better.
Dog, Titans week after that.
Yeah, if you come out and you string together 3 or 4
after that,
I'm happy. But if
you can get right here, you can get right, and
it starts this week.
If they lose this game, we'll come back. I'll let you go as angry as you want to, but for now, get that chin up, dog. Don't let me see you like that. Don't let me see you like that.
Dude, that's what a good friend does, man.
Head down, get that chin up, dog.
Hey, man. Listen. We'll see.
I see that big smile. You can't hide it. You can try to act like you don't feel better, but you do. I know you do.
I feel better because I got talked about the NFL draft. That's why I feel better. If I'm being
No. I made you feel better.
honest.
Put things in perspective. You feel all right. We're gonna be okay.
Mean, listen,
Gotta go
dog.
get a W.
You got to.
All right.
You got to put Rodgers in his place, bro.
What else do we need to talk about? Anything? Drake May's the starter now.
Yeah, Drake May's a starter.
Bo Nix looks legit.
Bo Nix, a
Jaden
playoff
Daniels
might be on the
looks legit.
horizon for the Broncos. Yeah,
Something there. We'll see. We'll see what it pans
I
out.
think we're all on Devontae Adams watch, Amari Cooper watch. We'll see. I mean, the Bills again. From what I've heard, the Bills aren't gonna make a move.
I ain't on
things
no
changed.
watch. I'm on
So-
I'm on Hurricane Milton watch. That's it.
Yeah, man. Shout out
I ain't on no
to
watch.
everybody who lives on the west side of Florida right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're it's looking really bad. So
Yeah.
hope prayers and safety to you all, man. Evacuate if you can. Seriously. I know some people in Tampa.
I think you're out of time for that, man. There ain't no gas down there. Roadways are packed.
Sheesh.
Thoughts out, man, for sure.
Brutal.
Yep.
All right, man.
All right. Ready to wrap this? Anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, man. We about to be up out of here, man. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to Intentional Grounding. You can look at all our socials. This show is on YouTube. It's in podcast form as well. You're listening to Intentional Grounding on the Sports Social Podcast Network.
And Sterl's going to be in a better mood next week.
I am going to be in a much better mood next week because the Bills are going to come out and beat the shit out of the Jets. And I guess we could say JETS sucks, right? This week we officially can. But I'm not going to either.
Not till next week.
Yeah, not till next week. But anyway, make sure you guys have a great fucking week. Go out there, love life, enjoy yourself, and don't worry about the Bills. They'll be all right.
Go Bills.
They'll be all right. Go Bills.